Recession is on the stage. We understand the causes, but the dynamic is far from being clear and how it's going to end. So my call here is that probably we should wait for more negative data for the coming months till starting seeing a better situation.
About this economic crisis here in Brazil, let's talk now to Roberto Padovani, economist here at Banco Votorantim. When this crisis will be over?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of different crises taking place. We've seen an economic crisis over the past 4 years. Now, maybe since 2014, we have faced this political crisis. And now we are in a moment we are facing a financial crisis. So I think there's a lot of things to come. I think it's too early to say that the crisis is over, not only because we have to deal with these political uncertainties, but basically because specifically this year we are facing the financial crisis. We've seen a lot of liquidity issues in the corporate side. Companies are experiencing very strong financial constraints, and so it makes me believe that we have to look carefully to this year, maybe next year, to have a better understanding about the ending of this crisis.
And the growth conditions here in Brazil?
We have been suffering for, as I said, the past 4 years, but what happened is that since last year, we've seen this collapse in investments. Those investments has been collapsed for different reasons. The car wash operation, those corruption scandals has been one source of uncertainties, but also we have seen a confidence crisis. So because of the confidence crisis, because of the scandals, the investment has moved down, not only last year but also this year. And this has moved the economy toward a recession. The recession, it's an ongoing process. It's not clear how far we are from the end of the process. My understand is that after having a recession close to 3.8 last year, maybe we can face another recession close to 3.5 this year. So all the economic indicators, all the growth data has just in the very beginning of this year, they are just reinforcing the idea that this process is a continuous process. So recession is on the stage. We understand the causes, but the dynamic is far from being clear and how it's going to end. So my call here is that probably we should wait for more negative data for the coming months till starting seeing a better situation.
And Roberto, what is the situation of the retail sales market here in the country?
We have seen so far a very intense crisis in the industrial side. That's industrial and investments have explained last year's crisis. But from now on, consumption is really collapsing also. And it's collapsing on the back of low confidence, huge financial constraints, credit constraints. Unemployment rate has been moving up, so we have labor conditions hitting consumption conditions. So there's no one single reason to imagine that consumption, and as a consequence, retail sales, you have a better performance over the coming months. So my understanding is that 16 will be driven by this weak consumption. Retail sales is going to be part of the problem. Maybe next year also retail sales is not going to help the country as a whole. And then if you look to the retail sales performance, to the short-term results, it will confirm the idea that we are still living a slowdown in the Brazilian economy.
Regarding the short-term interest rate, are the central bank plans clear for the market or not?
I think it's becoming clear now. In the very beginning of this year, the central bank was delivering a very hawk speech, trying to convince markets that in spite of having this recession, inflation was out of control and then they should act. But what happened over the past month is that the central bank started changing its speech and now central bank has pointed to the growth conditions rather to the expectations to make investors believe that they are going to wait a little bit more before moving rates. So probably the market today is discussing what could be the next step, and according to the central bank minutes, probably the next step is going to be a rate cut, and probably it's going to be a rate cut due to the fact that the economy is weak. So maybe we should accept a little bit higher inflation this year in Brazil because central bank is not that committed. But the strategy, the central bank's strategy, has been slightly become more clear as far as we understand that the central bank is really worried with the growth conditions.
And the credit conditions here in Brazil, what do you foresee?
Since we have this confidence crisis, we have seen this confidence crisis over the past years, the credit conditions are not going to be easy, not only because the demand for credit is falling, but the supply side has been hit by low confidence. So when bankers look ahead and see no debt stabilization, or we see no stable inflation, everybody got a little bit scared, and by being scared, everybody refrained from delivering more credit. So one of the main features of this year's recession is exactly the fact that we have no credit stimuli. So probably the companies, middle-sized companies, the corporate side in this country is going to suffer a lot because of the constraint in credit. So bankers, in our understanding, will keep being very cautious regarding the credit situation.
Thank you for now, and let's continue our conversation in a second part of this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Luciane Miranda to São Paulo Direct by Dukascopy TV.